Radio East River, our station, our talent, and our people.
Radio Eerste Rivier, onze stasie, onze talent, onze mense. WhatsApp ons by 064 536 9095. Talk to us, die ding ruk hier.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Submissions are now open
for all types of South African music to be playlisted on Radio Eerste Rivier.
the likes of
Gospel,
trip en hip-hop.
Dan wat gaat hij maken? Wat? Protest met boms in die straat? Hoeveel zal dood aan die kaap? Mijn enigste vraag is: wat zij bereid? O, zit die genoeg hier als zij het die voelen? Wat zij bereid?
Dancehall en reggae tunes.
Eerste Rivier. Kaapstad. Bliksemstraal represent voor de jagers. Dat kan ik het maken,
R&B en soul.
I still smell you, I still smell you, yes I do.
And of course, bomb and house music.
We don't mind the language.
We don't mind the
Genre.
So send us an email now to info@radioeasterriver.co.za.
Title your email.
Playlist me.
Eerste Rivier.
Our station, our talent, our people.
Are you a business owner, farmer, employer, or manager? CISA helps you with all your labor law and legal compliance needs. Let us take care of your UIF, OHS, BEE, POPI compliance and labor law, so that you can focus on running your business with peace of mind. Visit us at cisa.co.za. That's SEESA.co.za. Since 1998. CISA. Your business sorted.
The first time I saw you, I knew you're my guy. Nike's on, super clean, gorgeous on my tie. Oh, you make me nervous, you make me so shy. Nike's on, super clean, gorgeous on my tie. You wanna pick me up from my mama house, wanna link me quick, wanna take me out. Getting humble now. And if you move like a dog, baby, I won't judge. Give me a kiss and a hug, tell her what you must. Getting humble now. My baby, my baby. And if you move like a dog, baby, I won't judge. Give me a kiss and a hug, tell her what you must. Getting humble now. You see my poor love boy is every trophy. I'll be in love, be a baby, tell me. I put my phone on loud, wanna hear you call. You wanna soldier boy, kiss me through the phone now. Oh, you so me. And when you hit my line for the first time, stole my heart on my chest, lived a butterfly away. Oh, you so me. And if you move like a dog, baby, I won't judge. Give me a kiss and a hug, tell her what you must. Getting humble now. My baby, my baby. And if you move like a dog, baby, I won't judge. Give me a kiss and a hug, tell her what you must. Getting humble now. I got him, I got him, I really, really got him. I got him, I got him. You know I got him. You know I got him.
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio Yesterday.
All right, away. It is Monday afternoon. It's 3 o'clock, and here we are back at Radio Yesterday. I'm, of course, Dr. G, based at NRFE Timber Labs, and we get together on a Monday to talk science. With me in the studio, I'm joined by Mr. Siphesihle Nzuza, but I will get to him just now. A couple of days ago, on the 10th of October, we celebrated World Audiology Day. Brah,
yes, sir.
What is audiology?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We're glad to be here. So, audiology is basically the science of hearing and balance. So we're just looking at, so an audiologist is a university-trained healthcare professional who holds BSc or BA and specializes in the science of hearing and balance. So it's the equivalent of a specialist who goes a bit beyond hearing aids. We diagnose hearing loss and balance disorders in people of all ages. We manage hearing loss with various technologies, and we prevent hearing loss and rehabilitate through auditory training and counseling. We fit various hearing devices, and we assess and help manage conditions like tinnitus or ringing in the ears and things like that.
All right, so I mean, if you're a specialist, that means that you are extremely clever. But I mean, you mentioned a lot of words like hearing balance. You spoke about hearing aids.
Yes.
So I think if there is something called World Audiology Day, I think it's all about awareness, right? And making people aware of the importance of us taking care of our ears, I would imagine, on the one side, and then this whole thing around hearing. So if we talk ears, I mean, what are some of the, let's call it, misconceptions out there in terms of how we should or how we should not look after our ears?
Definitely. Thank you for touching on all of those. Awareness is key. You shouldn't, in terms of your hearing, you shouldn't wait until there's an issue with your hearing or until you notice that there's something. It's almost like how you go to the dentist every year or how you go and get an eye test and maintain that. So we recommend that you come in for testing every year to ensure that you know where your hearing is and that you can do something, because prevention is always the best. So once we're able to detect that there's something going on, we're able to assist and manage the sooner the better. And people always have issues. So the signs could be asking people to repeat themselves often, thinking others are mumbling, struggling to follow conversations in noisy places like restaurants or family gatherings, turning up the TV volume to a level that bothers others, whether you notice ringing or buzzing in the ears, a feeling of fullness in your ears or dizziness. And if you experience any of these, hearing test is simple and painless, so please go ahead and look for your nearest audiologist. If not, go to your GP and then they'll refer you.
But I mean, if I don't think about hearing loss, and us being conscious human beings, it's kind of crazy, because if I have problems with my eyesight, I go and get my eyes tested.
Yes.
And of course, you can go for a cool frame and make you look cool. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to hearing loss, I would imagine that for some reason people don't like wearing hearing aids.
Yes, you do come across those where they're just like, what? Me wearing a hearing aid, that thing, yeah. But that's also just a misconception. The devices nowadays are so advanced and so sleek looking. They look like earphones. They can match your skin, all those types of things. So hearing aids are becoming step by step, not just for older people, they're becoming universally acceptable, and they're looking very nice these days. So I would suggest that people really take it seriously, because it really helps you and puts you at ease in when you're in company and around people. You're able to hear better, you're able to communicate and be a part of the conversation, and it really helps, makes a big difference. Yeah, I've had people who have come in and they're just like, me wearing one of these. I'm like, no, it's like glasses, relax, please, just it'll help you. You'll feel better. Because being excluded from the conversation when people are talking and asking them to repeat themselves and all of that, and just saying yes when people, when you can't hear them, it becomes a problem. And when you're able to solve that problem, it makes a big difference. I see the joy in people's eyes once they get their hearing aids on and they're able to hear. It really, it really makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, and as you were talking, I mean, obviously there's a lot of development in terms of technology. So, you know, back in the day, you used to have these massive things that you would wear behind your ear. But I can imagine that you now, as you say, with earbuds, you almost wear them in your ear. So there are different solutions in terms of the actual problem. But talking about things in your ear, I mean, everywhere when we walk around, we see young people wearing little headphones.
Yes.
Good or bad?
Like all things, it's neither purely good or purely bad. I'm glad that people have access now to all these types of technology and they're able to zone in and pick what they want to hear and listen to, and it helps with the boredom or silence that people are often able to pick what they want to hear. But for personal audio, we'd say follow the 60-60 rule. So you'd listen to your device no more at 60% volume for no more than 60 minutes at a time. So yeah. And also having earplugs and all these things make a huge difference when you are in really loud environments. As we have, it's going to December, you're going to have festivals and all types of loud music and good time. So make sure that you are protecting your hearing. I personally don't go to clubs and all these places because it's just so loud and you end up screaming in each other's ears trying to hear each other. But people who enjoy that, make sure you have your ears protected, please. And yeah. So as I said, 60-60 rule, 60% volume for no more than 60 minutes at a time, and you can enjoy your good music. And yeah.
And I mean, when you talk about going to the club, you know, it's like turn up the bass. But I suppose a decibel is what? It's a unit that you use to measure intensity?
Yes, intensity.
And what is like the level in terms of just too loud?
Too loud. So we'd say 80 dBs would be quite loud. For in terms of like public audiology, in terms of people who work in construction and all of that, we'd come in and measure and have that. If it's 80 decibels for 8 hours, then that's going to damage their hearing over a long period of time. So we'd come in and measure that in terms of occupational audiology and make sure that people are respecting. So if we had a measure, it would be nice to keep it just under 80 and ensure that you're monitoring how long you're listening to these loud intensities.
All right, now talking about stuff in the ear, I just have to ask you this question.
Yes.
Any thoughts on earbuds?
Yes.
Should I or should I not use an earbud?
Thank you so much.
Clean my ears.
Thank you so much for measuring that. In our profession, earbuds are the enemy. They are forbidden. We always have patients coming in, and when we look inside their ears, we see that there's a perforation or there is wax that's been built up by these earbuds. Earbuds are sold to us, and the conception is that they clean out the ear, but more often than not, they cause damage. They make sure that the wax builds up and ends up blocking your ear, so you end up having what we call impacted wax. So we strongly advise against the use of earbuds in the ear. I don't know what else you could use them for, finding uses around the house, but make sure they don't go into your ears. Your ears are supposed to be self-cleaning. They clean themselves, so you just take a damp cloth and you wipe around your ear, and then that should be enough. They push out, your ear canal pushes out all the unnecessary and unwanted stuff. It's good to have wax in your ear. We need a good amount of wax to keep the ears lubricated. People who don't have wax in their ear often come into us and they're complaining that their ears are itchy and all those types of things. So make sure that you clean your ears the right way. You do not use earbuds. Please, no. It's a no. Ban earbuds.
Definite no.
Yes, no earbuds at all. Yeah.
So the biggest thing that should go into your ear is what, your elbow?
No, it's a around your ear a cloth. Anything else is a no. I remember we have people who come in and say they use their car keys, they use matchsticks, they use all types of things when their ears are itchy. And I've had a doctor who said she when she gets stressed, she picks at her ear. So things like that, just nothing goes in your ear. Please, just especially earbuds. No. No.
All right, so nothing goes. I hope you guys heard that, right? Nothing goes into your ears. Your body is complex enough; it's got the ability to clean itself. So there's no need for you to help out. But if you need to, then you just, as you say, clean a little bit on the outside. Before we go to some music, I just want to touch on. You spoke about balance as well. So
Yes.
so where does balance, hearing, where do they come together?
Okay, so in terms of your inner ear, so we have the outer ear, we have the middle ear. The outer ear would be your pinna here, out here. Your middle ear would be from your ear canal and a bit onwards to the bones in the ear. And then we have the inner ear. So this is where the organs of hearing are, where sound comes in and is processed and sent into your brain for higher processing. And that's how you understand your daily, everything that's going on around you constantly. It's always on. And then next to the cochlea, which is the organ of hearing, we have the vestibular organs, which are the organs for balance. So those are always working as well. They're fluid-filled organs, and depending on how you tilt your head, this is how we know where we are in space. So those organs are always working, always making sure that you are aware of if you're turning your head and so on and so forth. So we have a lot of people who get older and have difficulties in those, in terms of the vestibular system, which is the balance system. So when that system has issues, then people get dizzy and complain of all those types of things. So balance is also a very complex thing going on in the inner ear. And yeah, so they're very close to each other. So that's how they're linked. It's all one system. It's all, yeah. That's, as you said, the beauty of our bodies, the very complex systems happening in there. And we're just lucky to get to understand more and more about it as time goes by. So it's a very interesting system, and it's a lot of things going on. So vestibular audiology is a thing of its own. You can become a vestibular audiologist and deal with just balance related disorders. People can come to you just complaining of dizziness, and they're often very complex. Some of them can be what we'd call peripheral issues. So those would be dealing with your outer system, or they could be central, which would be your central nervous system and all those types of things like your brain and things like that. So it's a lot going on between your brain processing and sending back to the vestibular organs and making sure that everything is, you know where you are, you're balanced. So just you waking up in the morning and going for a walk, that is a very complex process. Your body speaking to itself, always knowing how it's standing. If you're going in a car, if you're going in an elevator, your body's monitoring all of those things. And yeah, it's an amazing and beautiful system. Only God could have created such amazing, once you look at it, you're just like, wow, this is a really complex system, and it works, and it's always on. It doesn't stop.
All right, so if you guys just joined us, we are talking audiology. It's all about awareness. It's about talking about the study of hearing. And the ear is not just about hearing. We heard now that it's also a very important part in terms of balance. And we need to look after our ears. We need to think about what we put in them. Earbuds, no. Play with the volume, 60% volume level, not more than 60 minutes. A lot is still to be unpacked. So let's take some music, and when we come back, I want to know, who is this man and what is he currently doing?
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio Israel.
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio Yesterday.
All right, so we are back. We're talking science, and today specifically we're talking the science of hearing, also known as audiology. And next to me, Siphesihle. So first of all, who are you and where do you come from?
Okay, my name is Siphesihle. A lot of people know me as Pe, just a shortened, easier version, just to make things easier for people. And I am from Pietermaritzburg in KZN, the capital of KZN. And yeah, I came here and studied at UCT, and Cape Town has been my home since then.
All right, so hailing from Pietermaritzburg, currently at UCT.
Yes.
And are you doing postgrad studies, I take?
Yes.
All
I'm
right,
currently,
so tell us about that.
So I'm currently pursuing my master's in audiology, and it's been a great journey. We've learned a lot. I started this year, so it's really amazing. Learned a lot about research and the process, quantitative, qualitative research, all of that. It's been an amazing journey. Really had great mentors and people ahead of me. Had Dr. Lucretia Peterson really guiding the process. It's been lots of learning, lots of effort, and I've had a chance to give back in terms of lecturing and tutoring at UCT, so that's also been an amazing process, and yeah, it's been a great journey.
All right, so you at UCT, some of your time you spend teaching, mentoring yourself, but what is your research on?
Okay,
this master's?
Yes, so my master's is, the title is The Feasibility of Teleaudiology for Ototoxicity Monitoring in Renal Patients. So that
okay, right. You have to unpack all those words.
Yes,
there's
yeah.
teleaudiology, there's ototoxicity, and then there was something about renal failure patients, right? So let's start with the first one. What is audiology now deals with hearing, but what is teleaudiology?
Okay, thank you so much for putting that in that way, because I've told people my heading and they'd be like, oh, you're swearing at me. What does that mean? What does that mean? So yeah, so we'll start with ototoxicity, which simply means just ear poisoning. So it refers to the medication that people have to take depending on what they have, whether it's cancer or renal issues, renal failure. So yeah, all these medications can damage your hearing and balance system, and it's usually a side effect. So in terms of teleaudiology, this would be like the virtual clinics for hearing care. So we can do hearing care and hearing tests and consultations remotely. We don't have to be in person. We can use video calls and software. So instead of the patient always having to come to us, we can come to them, and at a time that's convenient for them and us. So we're able to research that. So my research will be testing whether we can do this remote approach safely, and whether we effectively able to monitor the hearing of these patients who are on hearing damaging medications.
All right, so you're saying somebody's got, let's say, kidney problems.
Yes.
And in order to address the kidney problems, they take medication.
Yes.
But the side effect is that leads to hearing loss.
Yes.
And you are trying to come up with a way to monitor, is it the progression of the hearing loss?
Yes. So in terms of these, there usually are guidelines to say that once a person is on this sort of treatment, they're supposed to have their hearing tested this often, and these are the steps that they're supposed to take. But often in our country, you see that the public sector is very overburdened. So the amount of audiologists to patient ratio is very bad. So they end up overburdened with this. So they end up not being able to really implement all of these guidelines effectively. So what we want to do is cut down the burden and ensure that there's equitable care, everyone gets access to care, and that they're able to be helped in a way that works for them. So yeah, we're just making sure that we can lessen the burden on the country's public sector audiologists.
And I mean, if the patient now has access to this, does the patient need to get trained in order to understand and interpret the data, or is it something that gets shared, let's say, via cloud, and there's an audiologist somewhere that reviews the information on a regular basis?
So there are different ways of doing it, but how I'm going to be doing it, or an easier way to do it, is that, for example, the renal, where I'm going to be is at Groote Hospital. So the renal unit there, they have nurses who are constantly, obviously, watching the patients who are on dialysis. So what we'll do is train the nurses to train the patient. But essentially, the nurse will teach them how to do it, and then they'll be able to do it themselves, and then store the data, and then I'm able to view it remotely, not necessarily have to come in. so that I can say that, okay, these results do this and interpret the data. They won't necessarily be able to interpret the data themselves, but I'll be there as well to assist them. But they'll be able to test themselves, which is key. It will save us time, save them time. Because at GSH, the patients that come in are already on 90% reduced kidney function. So they are on dialysis there. So they spend about 4 hours a day there. And their families complain that they spend these 4 hours, they end up falling asleep, and then this messes up their sleep cycles. And then when they get home at night, they want to be up and about while the family wants to sleep. So we also want to help with that, give them something to do while they are on dialysis, while their blood is getting purified and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting process, and yeah.
But I mean, I can imagine that hearing loss in general is almost like a death sentence in a sense. So what kind of support does an audiologist offer to the family in terms of managing?
It's very important. We have all types of informational counseling. We ensure that the patient comes in with their family. And so the key these days is, the word is patient-centered care. Everything is about the patient. We negotiate about them. You look at the person behind the patient to ensure that they're well taken care of. They understand all this information in a way that so you convey it to them in a level that they understand. You avoid jargon. You make sure that it's simple. So you would educate the family about, for example, how important it is for them to hear, because hearing difficulties can double your risk of dementia and things like that. So ensuring that the brain is always active, you consider it as a muscle. So as long as it's getting input and working, even if it's silent like this, your brain is always hearing what's going on. It's hearing the clock going on there. It's working. It's aware. So always having that input is very important. So if you have hearing difficulties and you don't attend to them, it will increase your risk of dementia, and you could end up having problems down the line. So it's always key to intervene as soon as possible and ensure that the brain is getting stimulation. You're always, hearing. And so in terms of the family, we ensure that they also understand all of these things in a simple way. We bring them in. If we at the hospital I was at last year, people would come in with their significant other or their family. We ensure that in the consultation room, we explain the whole process to them and their significant others, and everyone plays a part. And so it's like a community. You don't just treat that one person, you're treating everyone and educating them as well, because it's not a very new profession, but it's relatively new compared to the others. But so it's always, whenever you get a chance, it's always good to educate as many people as you can about their hearing, and they're always keen to listen, and it's always new to them, so it's a good thing. It's very
all right. So Spare, when you introduced your research topic, you used the word feasibility.
Yes.
And I assume feasibility is testing.
Yes.
So if you now test and this works, what is the possible impact in terms of South Africa and maybe even Africa as a continent?
Okay, so this model could be a game changer for two key reasons, which would be access and equity. And here in South Africa, that's a big thing. So in terms of access, we have patients traveling long distances for whatever care that they get, whether it be renal care, and that cost and time of a separate trip just for a hearing test or their renal, they're very impossible. We end up having to align those dates with their grants and all of that. So this allows us to bring the services to them. So in terms of equity, there's a critical shortage of audiologists in the public sector. And with teleaudiology, one specialist can serve multiple clients without being physically present. And this helps stretch our limited resources and help more people, ensuring that monitoring is not just for those who can access a major hospital. It can be spread as far and wide as possible.
All right, so when you talk tele, then you're talking remote.
Yes.
So what is the kind of minimum, I almost want to say hardware, that the patient needs to have for this process to be facilitated?
Thank you. That's a very good question. So when I started my research, I looked at a few possible methods that we could use. There were some, for example, there's some good work being done in Pretoria by HearX. So that's a company that creates gives you a tablet, and that has the software on there, and then you buy credits, and then you get headphones as well, noise cancelling headphones, and then it monitors the noise around, because obviously when you're testing hearing, you need as quiet as possible of an environment. So we looked at things like that, and I ended up looking at the cost. So I looked at what devices and software is the most affordable and easily accessible to as many, so that this research could be applied on as grand of a scale as it is, and as possible, and as low of a cost as possible in the country. So as our country is a low middle income country, as they would say. So I ended up looking at an Android hearing test, which is free on Android, and the research was validated by other researchers, so it was very good. The reliability of it was good and everything, so I ended up falling on an Android test that is free. So all they need is an Android device of whatever price, could be 400 Rand, whatever, and some headphones, and we're good to go. We can test your hearing. It calibrates and do all of that based on the headphones that you have available, and so anyone can test their hearing wherever they are, whenever, and make sure that they're monitoring what's going on with their ears.
All right, so there's in a sense a cheap solution in terms of getting the data or accessing or recording, gathering the data, but then of course that gets passed on to the specialist who then interacts with the data and actually makes informed decisions. Now, I mean, this is all really specialized. It's there at a level where your brain is probably busy 24/7. Do you do stuff for fun? I mean, do you have like a favorite song that just kind of gets you going?
I'm a very diverse person. I listen to a lot of things. I was in a choir, so I love choral music.
You're going to sing for us as well?
Not today. I wasn't booked for that. Not today. I would need some stretching.
Sure.
I've been out of action for a bit. But yeah, I love music. Yeah, I can play the piano, but you're a much better pianist than anyone I know. So you would be the judge of that. I can play a few chords here and there. I can play. Yeah, so I love jogging and running, exercise, staying fit. I love all of that. I do some yoga as well, stretching the body because of the workouts and all of that. I'm just a healthy person. I'm also vegan, so that works well with that. I'm able to train and keep training. So music, fitness, and
so there's a lot more to spare than just being an audiologist and just being clever in terms of understanding hearing. So if I could now play a tune for you, you would go for what?
I would go for, there's a musician called Mandy Harvey who is deaf. So she was deaf at the age of 18. So she still has some residual memory of what it's like to sing and whatever, but she's also listens to the vibration. So you can imagine how difficult it would be for you as a musician. Once you lose your hearing, you think that's the dream done. But clearly there are other ways, and so your passion doesn't have to stop. You can just adapt and change things up. So I'd say Try by Mandy Harvey would be a good...
Try by Mandy Harvey. Are we going to try and get to Try by Mandy Harvey? Let's see if we can get Try by Mandy Harvey. Currently deaf, but still producing some brilliant tunes.
Radio Eersterivier, onze stasie, ons talent, onze mensen.
I don't feel the way I used to. The sky is grey, much more than it is blue. But I know one day I'll get through, and I'll take my place again if I would try.
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio Yesterday.
All right, so we are talking audiology, we're talking the health of the ears, and I'm having a conversation with Spe, who's from Pietermaritzburg and studying at UCT, doing a master's. Now, because you are doing a master's, that means that you are a qualified audiologist, correct?
Yes.
So have you worked as an audiologist?
Yes, I have. Last year was a grueling whole year. I did my community service. So after you graduate, you have to do a year of community service. And yeah, my brother can attest to this. It was very difficult. The public sector will, put you to work. I saw a good amount of patients. I'd come home very, very finished, very exhausted. But yeah, it was a very enriching experience. I got to put my skills to the test, got to really contribute to the community and see people's lives changed. It was amazing, very, very amazing.
So being in this kind of professional role as an audiologist, what has been to date, in a sense, the most rewarding part of that job?
Oh, wow, that is a difficult question, but because this year now I've transitioned into lecturing and teaching, that has also been very rewarding, being able to convey the skills and the information and the knowledge to others who are also very hungry for all of that, and giving them experience in areas that they didn't have knowledge in. So that's been very rewarding. I'd say in terms of seeing patients, which I really loved as well, really, for example, putting on a person's hearing aid for the first time and they're able to hear sounds again, that was really an eye-opener, seeing how much of a difference that made to people's lives. And we'd have children who'd go to school and not have any input. They'd have hearing difficulties, and you'd obviously see their academic marks go down and all of that, not being able to participate. But once you fit them with hearing aids, the smiles that the children have and all of that, they're able to go back into class. And really, there are things that we take for granted, being able to hear every day, hear your wife shout at you, and all of those things. We take for granted, but they're really, really important things. So yeah, seeing people's lives changed was amazing. Really.
So you're trying to convince me that I should feel blessed when I can hear my wife shouting, because at least I can still hear.
100%, yes, that's a gift.
All right, Sve, I'm going to tap into your teaching skills a little bit, because I'm sure that there might be many young people listening to us having this conversation.
Yes.
On the one side, many of them have never heard of a profession or a career called audiology.
Yes.
So just in terms of getting into such a program, what are the kind of subjects typically that you would do or have to do at school in order to think about this as a possibility?
Okay. So what I did was I did the 3 sciences, so triple science as we'd call it. So I did your physics, your biology, and geography. So that would definitely put you in that any really profession in health sciences, you'd be able to go into that with those. But I think biology would be one that's very important, because they do cover the ear, even though it's very basic and very elementary. But yeah, it's a good stepping stone onto what needs to be done. Physics is also one that's usually a good one to have, because obviously when you come in, we do the physics of sound and all of these things, so it's much easier. Although a few of my classmates didn't do physics, so it was more difficult for them, but you can still do it. So I'd say obviously maths core would be good. Your maths, physics, biology would be the real key ones, and then
And the typical skills that you would learn by doing those courses, they would now probably show up in terms of you having to analyze data and interpret graphs and all these kind of things. So I think it's a lifelong skill, in a sense, that you're advocating for.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely use all of that you're learning now in high school and in your later years in this field. Definitely in terms of analyzing, it all comes back. You really have to learn as much as you can now, and it'll help you down the road.
So if I could take you back to high school and imagine you walking into a grade 12 class.
Yes.
And you see your former self sitting there.
Yes.
What would you say to your former self?
I would tell myself to relax, things work out, don't stress too much, do the hard work, do your best, but yeah, relax, things will all come together, because we end up stressing, not sure, because the application process to university is a thing of its own. You're still 18, you're still learning about yourself, and then you have to pick a career, and you're just like, wow, there's so many options. I could go this way. That was what kind of a bit also paralyzed me. I was like, yo, I'm having to make a decision now that could affect my future life in such a great way. But yeah, pick what you love, what you enjoy, what you're able to see yourself doing every day, and that will guide you along.
And I mean, just quickly as we wrap up, in terms of your own journey, I mean, are there anybody in your family that's in the medical kind of profession that would have exposed you to audiology, or where? How did you come across this discipline?
No one in my family. I just had an idea that I wanted to go into health sciences. That was just always my thing, giving back to people, helping people. That was always, and all my friends, I went to a boys' school, all my friends are about money, finances, so they all went into accounting and all of that. So it was very rare to have any guys. I think there was 2 of us in the whole faculty, and you'll see at UCT Health Sciences is mostly female dominated, and that is often a good thing because of the nurturing aspect. It takes patience to deal with children sometimes, especially those who are difficult to test. So I don't think people who are about my money, about accounting, they wouldn't have the patience to deal with such thing, and giving back to people. So that was always key for me, that I want to help people no matter how I do it. As long as it's helping people, I'm going to be fulfilled and satisfied in terms of that. And I got to do a lot of that last year, and it was very fulfilling. As much as it was exhausting, you get energized by the work you're doing, the ability to help those who need your help, and they're very grateful for it.
Spare, thanks for your time. I mean, we've chatted to you, we've heard about the profession, audiology, but we've picked up that it's a kind of space where it's not just scientific in nature, but there's also this opportunity for you to add value in terms of helping people. So you become a nurturer in a slightly different context, where the focus is on hearing. It's helping people to look after their ears, their well-being, because if you can hear, you stimulate the brain, if I remember what you said earlier, and you need your brain active in order for growth and development. So before we sign off,
yes,
lots of matriculants. It is October. They're getting ready for the final exam. Any last words of encouragement
I would
to matriculants?
say, this is a great time. Do your best. Make sure you get rest. Do not go pull all-nighters at the last minute. Drink Red Bull or whatever things. Try and keep exercise as well. Make sure that you're stimulated. They say that if you exercise, you end up they've done the research, you end up getting better marks, because when you exercise, it's like the ultimate, what we could call drug for your body. Your brain loves the lactate that's released. So this is essentially a steroid for your learning. So make sure you get your exercise in as well. You mustn't just say, no, I'm not going to exercise because I'm focused on exams. Make sure you get your run in, get your heart rate up. Focus, get some rest, because when you sleep, you consolidate. That's very important. Make sure you get good rest and do your best. Just do as well as you possibly can, and good luck to you guys. You'll make it through.
Thanks, Ben. As you were talking, I'm sure there were some of the listeners out there, maybe the matriculants, sitting and thinking, you're going to walk into that first exam, you're going to pick up your pen, and you're going to say, Lord, your servant is ready, you can send it. But that might not work, right? If you listen to him, there's some stuff that you need to do. Exercise, balance, think about what you eat, get enough rest. Spare, thank you for your time. Thank you for introducing us to this wonderful world of audiology. And for you out there, if you have questions, pop at us. Send us through messages either via the email. You can send it to CISE at tlabs.ac.za, or you can drop us a telephone call if you want to 021-843-1000. I am Dr. G, based at Itemba Labs, and every Monday for the next couple of months, we'll be talking science. Until next time, go well, go shell.
The best variety of music on your favorite radio station.
Radio Yesterday.
gotta tell them lie, lie, lie? Honestly, I'm not surprised. Always talking about my why, Mr. Media, why? I just said I was fly, no matter how hard I try, I can never get it right. It's a caddy, but I like to twerk. They gon' love it if I like it first. Remember when I used to fight with words? Really, I should be worse. I should be meaner. Why? Why? None of your concern. What none of your concern. Change, I don't know what time I'm on. Bad bitch, I ain't always got time to talk. Too bad, yeah, I know I'm difficult. You could too if you had my visuals. You could too if you had material. Misdemeanor, why? Why you gotta tell them lie? Honestly, I'm not surprised. Always talking about my why. Mr. Media, why? I just said I was fly, no matter how hard I try. Never get it right. I can make it. It's a caddy, but I like to twerk. They gon' love it if I like it first. Remember when I used to fight with words? Really, I should be worse. I should be meaner. Why? Why? None of your concern.